Aloha. Pehe oi. How are you? Maikai? Good? I want to thank you for coming here. My name is Leila Lehulu Onalani Fernandez, and you are about to watch a Hoike. Hoike means a show or performance in Hawaiian. It's basically a recital. This year is very important to us because we are doing our Hoike on our Na'ali'i, which is our royal family, starting from King Kamehameha all the way to the very last, Queen Liliuokalani and Princess Ka'iolani. So if you have the program, it would be good if you kind of just go over it just for a second, because it's a very important one this year. We're actually really teaching you about our Hawaiian heritage and of the things that have happened to the Native Hawaiian people in Hawaii. I would like to do my thank yous right now. In my halau, I consider the people in my halau my family. So we are one ohana, one big family, extended family from the immediate family that they have. And so when someone comes, someone new comes, it's very great for our halau to meet new people. But when someone leaves, it's extremely sad, because we have been with these people for years. And so unfortunately, we have someone that has to move back because of the parents are moving back home. Not her fault. And this person has been with me, I believe, for 7 years. And so I have pretty much helped her parents raise her. She started as a little one, and now she's a teenager going back to Japan. And after this, we will be having a get-together to celebrate her and her life with us. But I want to bring her up. Her name is Ai. So since she's going back to Japan, I buy her hula girl, and it looks like me. Love you. Love you. The next couple people I would like to bring up. I live in Hawaii now. Things have happened, and so I had to move back home. It started because my father got really ill, and so I commute back and forth every month. And so without this one person, I really can't have classes, because she is my alakai, and alakai means leader. So I am the kumu, she's the alakai, and so I come in, I choreograph, and then I leave, and I tell her, okay, go. Teach it, learn, remember it, She picks up really fast, she's really good at what she does, and her name is Chelsea, or I call her Hulu. You want to say something? Oh, no. So this is for you. She didn't want to talk, she said she would cry. Okay, and then the next person is someone that basically I can't survive without, because she does my schedule for me, and she does my program and my Excel sheets and all that crazy type of stuff that I am not good at. Office work and all that kind of stuff. Her name is Megumi-san. Oh, and I live with her. And I live with her when I'm here. The last one is Mike. Without Mike, we cannot do programs. What you see, he has created, and it is amazing. Mike, are you? There you are. And Mike's the best. He went to Paris with us. He went to Hawaii with us. So, mahalo. We're going to start the show. Please enjoy. Oh, I forgot to tell you, no flash cameras. We're taking a video of the show, and a lot of times the flash on the camera will interrupt the dancers. You know the blinking and stuff. Yeah, kind of irritates them. So please don't do that, okay?
One more mahalo to our kumu from our halal. We love you and thank you. In his final words, King Kamehameha would say to all his people, "E na'i vale no o ko I ke kupono a ole au," which means, "Continue my just deeds, they are not yet finished." Some 3,000 years ago, my ancestors settled on the western islands of Polynesia, Wallis, Futuna, Samoa, and Tonga. The islands were rough and patchy, so the mindset of my people was sustainability and exploration, just to survive. The first major migration to Hawaii occurred around 300 AD from the Marquesas Islands. My people would settle down in Kauai, Molokai, and the windward side of Oahu. The land was fertile, the shallow waters full of fish. It was paradise. For these farmers, fishermen, and hunters, there would be no need for a caste system and no need for a king. While Hawaii was experiencing a peaceful time in its young history, Tahiti and the remaining islands were dealing with a power struggle between royal blood and the control royal families demanded over its people. And this brings us to the beginning and the story of two brothers, Pa'ao and Lonopele. Pa'ao and Lonopele served as both chief priest and ruler over some of the islands that included Samoa and Tahiti. One day, Lonopele accused his brother's son of stealing fish from the royal fish pond. This was considered kapu, or taboo, and this accusation would eventually lead to the death of Pa'ao's son. Sadly, it was later proven that his son had been innocent all along. Full of sadness, Pa'ao decided he would migrate to a distant land, far, far away from his brother. Pa'ao sailed by the stars and would eventually reach the big island of Hawaii. When he arrived to the Hawaiian Islands, Pa'ao felt Hawaii's royal blood was compromised by intermarriage between lesser chiefs and commoners. So he decided to return home to Tahiti and other islands, recruit Pili to become king, and bring royal warriors and their families back to Hawaii. Pa'ao would go on to become the new high priest and personal advisor to Pili, Hawaii's self-appointed king. King Kamehameha, direct descendant of Pili, would go on to change Hawaii and create a path for Hawaii's future, kings and queens. Let us begin in our celebration of Tahiti's past with E Piko and Tiare Oi no Tahiti. Historians have many names for Pa'au, including warrior, priest, vengeful father. Pa'au demanded a system that supported human sacrifice, a kapu system that protected the power of the priest and that of the ali'i, or king. Pa'au would introduce an elemental spirit worship into the Hawaiian life that included gods of earth, wind, and fire. Pa'au was also believed to burn the voyaging canoes that helped them on their long journey from Tahiti to Hawaii. He would go on to destroy his navigators, thereby isolating the Hawaiian Islands for the next 400 years. And this brings us to the rough seas of Puna on the big island of Hawaii. Please welcome our keiki to the stage as they share No Luna e Kahale.
Eala, eala.
Because of the importance of context, hula has been instrumental in preserving and perpetuating Native Hawaiian language, art, and cultural practices. As you can see, hula is the visual expression of the poetry, telling through movement the stories of the people's love for their gods, people, and lands. Our next song, Hana Waimea, is a name chant for the warriors of Kamehameha who were known as Ki Pu'upu'u. The chant tells us the story of the Ki Pu'upu'u wind and rain, which is a way to describe the Waimea district on the island of Hawaii, as well as to refer to the warriors, but without actually naming them. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Hana Waimea. Queen Kapiolani was born on December 31st, 1834. Historians describe Queen Kapiolani as a woman with a sweet disposition and amiable temper. She was a woman best known for her philanthropy and was deeply committed to the health, education, and well-being of Hawaiian people. In 1890, Queen Kapiolani raised funds and opened the maternity home for Hawaiian women, which would evolve into the Kapiolani Medical Center for Women and Children, which exists today. She would live to see the overthrow of the Hawaiian monarchy in 1893 and pass away 6 years later in her home in Waikiki. In remembrance of Queen Kapiolani, we offer to all of you Oli Ho'opuka, Ho'i Ke Aloha I Ni'ihau, and Ho'i'e.
Aloha mai o taulana ula, ka
King David Kalakaua was born in a time when Christian missionaries arrived and converted native Hawaiians to Christianity. The missionaries developed relationships with the Hawaiian monarch. The children of these missionaries would now assume powerful positions in business and politics and would soon clear a path for Kalakaua to become Hawaii's last king. Kalakaua would carry the burden of not being a direct descendant of Kamehameha and would fail to gain the popular vote by the Hawaiians. Despite all his shortcomings, Kalakaua reversed the ban placed on hula back in 1820. The king believed in hula, its significance to the survival of Hawaiian culture, and had a strong desire to share Hawaii's greatness to the world. Hawaii was changing, the monarchy was weakening, and Kalakaua would be forced to sign a constitution allowing him to continue his reign, but lose all power as king. Kalakaua's last words, "Aue, he kanaka'au, eia I loko o ke kuno kuno o ka ma'i," or, "Alas, I am a man who is seriously ill." In his very last breath, the king wanted his people to know that he tried.
Ua
Princess Ruth Ke'elukolani was a member of the Kamehameha family and served as royal governor of the island of Hawaii. As primary heir to the Kamehameha family, Ruth became a landholder of what would become the Bernice Boahi Bishop Estate, which funds Kamehameha schools today. Ruth was completely devoted to ancient Hawaiian traditions and customs. While the kingdom became Christianized and her royal estates filled with elegant palaces and mansions, Emma chose to live in a large stone-raised grass house. While she understood English and spoke it well, she used the Hawaiian language exclusively and required English speakers to use a translator. The preservation of the old ways was important to Princess Ruth, and the artistry and skill of featherwork was a tradition she cherished and shared. Feathered articles were worn in battle and different state affairs to signify rank. They were found in capes, cloaks, helmets, and kahili, and were considered a treasured item of the ali'i. Though feather work was also found in other parts of Polynesia, like Tahiti and Aotearoa, the main features of the Hawaiian technique were incredibly unique. Our next song talks about the hulu, or the precious feathers of the manu o'o bird.
Ai, ka kahi ka manu o'o.
Mahalo, we will now take a 10-minute intermission. Structure of Hawaiian society would now be formed. consort of Alexander Liholiho, also recognized as Kamehameha IV. Politically, Queen Emma was pro-British, was warmly received by Queen Victoria of the United Kingdom, fought against Hawaii's dependence on American industry, and wanted to give the native Hawaiians a more powerful voice in government. Her legacy lives on today with St. Andrew's Cathedral, St. Andrew's Priory School for girls, and an Episcopal secondary school for boys, which was later named Iolani School in honor of her husband. During Queen Emma's time, the continued existence of the Hawaiian race was threatened by the influx of disease brought to the islands by foreign visitors. In 1853, a smallpox epidemic hit the islands, bringing the population count from 300,000 to 60,000 over the span of a century. Perhaps Queen Emma's greatest legacy was the establishment of the Queen's Medical Center, a hospital built for the native Hawaiians. On behalf of our Queen, we present to you Wahine Hololio.
Kina
William Lunalilo was the 6th monarch of Hawaii and was accountable for major changes in government policy during his time. His predecessor, Kamehameha V, has spent his reign increasing the powers of his office and trying to restore the absolute monarchy of his grandfather, Kamehameha I. Lunalilo, however, would lay the groundwork for a new Hawaii and transitioning Hawaii from a monarchy to a democracy. In past history, royalty would be buried at the Royal Mausoleum in Nu'uanu Valley. On his deathbed, he would request a burial at Kauaiha'o Church on the church's ground. In Lunalilo's words, "I wish to be entombed amongst my people rather than the kings and chiefs." Even in passing, Lunalilo would live on as the people's king.
Ko
Every culture has developed the means of passing on important information to its people. For Hawaiians, there was no written language until the 1820s. As such, all information was shared through the use of songs, chants, and poems. In most ancient cultures, composition of poetry was confined to the privileged classes, but what makes Hawaii so unique was this form of composition was common practice to all walks of life, from commoner to royalty. Aya in Uanukole Nani is a shining example of the deep love Hawaiians had for Queen Kapiolani. The song was offered to her as a gift, just as a lei might be given from one person to another.
Aya inu an kole nani o ka
Aloha. I just wanted to mention the 3 girls that just performed for you. Weren't they fantastic? Where are they? Can I have the 3 girls? Ka'iolani, Pili Aloha, Kaleo. I think they're changing. Anyway, they are my competition group. So they competed twice in Vancouver as kids, and then they became OPO, which is teenagers, and they competed in Florida as teenagers. And in the hula world, when you turn 13, you become an adult, a vihine dancer, an adult dancer, even though you're still a child and you're 13. So sometimes it's a little difficult because you're 13 years old and you're, there they are. Sometimes it's difficult because you're 13 or 14 years old and you're dancing against seasoned dancers that's 30, 35, even 40, 42. So in the Mary Monarch world, it's 13 to 49. So they will be competing next year, and I believe we're going to California, right? In San Diego as a Wahine line. So yeah, so just please give them a round of applause. I love that. Love that. Sorry, I have to stop the show just to tell you that.
The Hawaiian monarch was certainly not without its share of family drama. Queen Emma's grudge against Queen Kapiolani was visible to all, and Kapiolani did her best to not let such grudge get the best of her. Queen Kapiolani would fill her time visiting children and families suffering from leprosy at Kalaupapa on the island of Molokai. She would continue her travels to the islands of Maui and Kauai to ensure her people were receiving proper medical care, and would organize clothing collections to ensure her people's basic needs were met. To our Queen, we pay tribute for all of your civic duty as we share with you Haleakala Hula and Hano Hano Hanalei. Bernice Pauahi Bishop was a Hawaiian princess, great-granddaughter of Kamehameha I, and the last direct descendant of the royal house of Kamehameha. She is forever remembered as one of the most remarkable philanthropists in the history of the islands, donating generously to hospitals, churches, schools, and social welfare organizations. With no children of her own, our princess would share a deep commitment to the well-being of Hawaiian children. There is no legacy greater than Kamehameha Schools, which specializes in educating the children of Native Hawaiians and providing her people hope and a bright future. In remembrance of Princess Bernice Pauahi Bishop, we offer you Aloha Ia o Waianae.
Ooh.
Princess Kaiulani was heir to the throne of the Kingdom of Hawaii and second in line to Queen Liliuokalani. Known throughout the world for her intelligence and determination, Kaiulani has long been represented in music and dance traditions of Hawaii through mele, oli, and hula from the time she was born. The jasmine flower, or pikake, worn in her next two songs, was her favorite flower. And with this, we honor you, Princess Kaiulani, with Hano Hano, Kale, Pikake, and Eo Mai.
Away.
The overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom was one of the most monumental events in Hawaiian history. Imprisoned by a group called the Provisional Government, Queen Liliuokalani would compose a number of songs filled with kauna, or hidden meanings. The only song to be published was Queen's Prayer, or Ke Aloha o Kahaku. The song was dedicated to her heir apparent, Princess Kaiulani, and offers hope that her people will be able to find the strength to forgive their adversaries for denying their birthright and bringing the end of Hawaii's once great monarchy. Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you our Queen's Prayer. Ke aloha o ka hapu. We dedicate this mele to Princess Kaiulani, known as the People's Princess. Born in 1875 to Princess Like and Scottish businessman Archibald Cleghorn. As a child, her greatest enjoyment was riding her horse around the Kapiolani racetrack and Diamond Head. She was trained in ha'awi ke aloha, the art of bowing graciously, as she was recognized by her Hawaiian people from a young age. For her 10th birthday, her mother hosted a grand celebration at their home in Waikiki. Then tragically, in the next year, her mother, Princess Like, would become ill and leave her young daughter. The Hawaiian League led a week of dramatic political events and harmful action that weakened the throne. With the increasing danger and desire that her father had to provide the princess a proper education for Hawaiian royalty, she was sent to England for schooling. She found pleasure in exploring nearby cities and excelled in her courses in school. Greater than the pleasures, though, were the increasing concern and desire to be with her people and family in her homeland. While in England, she lost her uncle, King Kalakaua, and learned of the challenges her aunt Lili'u faced with the overthrow of the Hawaiian kingdom and attempt for annexation to the United States.
Oh,
Kaiulani had an opportunity to travel from England to DC to fight for her people. She arrived in New York and stated, "Today, I, a poor, weak girl with not one of my people near me and all these Hawaiian statesmen against me, have strength to stand up for the rights of my people. Even now, I can hear their well in my heart, and it gives me strength and courage. And I am strong, strong in the faith of God, strong in the knowledge that I am right, strong in the strength of 17 million people who in this free land will hear my cry and will refuse to let their flag cover dishonor to mine." Finally, after living in England and Paris for 6 years, she would be allowed to return to her homeland. Given the joy and comfort of being with her people and family, she struggled with her changed homeland and destitute people. After her friend's wedding on the Big Island, Princess Kaiulani rode her horse in the cold Waimea rain. She developed pneumonia and would sadly leave us all as a princess without a country. She was just 23 years old and was said to have truly died of a broken heart for her people.
Aloha, we'd like to thank you for coming to the show. Mahalo, I'd like to bring out the cast. Everyone out? Hele mai oi me a o ke ololo. Ike ia. Hele mai. Ake i mama. And we have the Katie. So because they're so young, we call them likolehua, which is the bud. And then we have the opio. Lehua mamo. The bud that has blossomed into a flower. Mahalo. We have the Maile group, which is the Wednesday class. Ohia, lehua, which is, the ohia is the branch of the flower of the lehua, means the strength. Take a bow. Thank you, mahalo. bring up some of the soloists. First, I'd like to bring up my cousin, my real cousin. This is Janine Ihilani from the Ihilani Hotel. And her sister and my sister, her mother and my mother are sisters. And then we have the Ho'opa'a, Melissa, Chelsea, Miri, Chloe, Sophie, Kili aloha. And now, stay there, Chloe. And then Chloe for her solo. For Malie and her solo. So Malie, we went to Paris this year for a competition. She came in first place. So she will be competing with us in San Diego next year as well. She is now the competition soloist for the Keiki line.
Not quite done with all of our mahalos. Our greatest one is to our kumu, who has been with us for 8 years. And hopefully we'll see you at our 10th anniversary, perhaps on the island of Oahu. So thank you very much. But we also need to recognize the many people who have helped us carry on our halau. We'd like to also recognize our Hoike, Chelsea. And I know you're only supposed to have one right hand, but for Layla she has two. She has Megumi. Also, Janine. Please, Janine, where are you? She wasn't able to dance with us this time, but Janine, where are you?
Okay, may I ask everyone to stand? It's tradition in Hawaii to all stand at the end of a festivity. Can we do a half moon, please? Ke ololo. Ke ololo means please in Hawaiian. And so we'll be singing this song.
Bye.
is Honi Honi Kuliki.